It's right around 11 p.m. or so on today's Sunday, December 3rd, 2023. And I just realized sometime earlier this evening, after having eaten one of these chocolate bars, some of these biscuits, and a slice of that bread, that all of these items have been somehow contaminated over the last, I'd say, 24 hours. I purchased this box of these nutrition bars last night at around 6 p.m. in Copley Square. I brought them home along with these items that my friend gave me 3 days ago. She donated them. They were from her. And there were a few more slices of bread in here and a few more biscuits. I ate the biscuits and had the bread on and off over the last couple of days. Everything was fine. Had one of these bars last night when I left CVS. I opened the package and ate one of them on my way home. It was perfectly fine. Last night at around 10 p.m. or so, I left this unit for a few minutes, did not lock the door, but closed the door, went down the hall to the common bathroom and tried to get some clean, fresh drinking water that didn't make me sick, because the water from that tap right there is constantly stinking like sewage and has a really gritty, sticky, gluey residue in it that you can't drink. Like, it literally sticks and makes you sick if you drink it. So I went to the bathroom down the hall, came back, did not lock the door, but the door was closed. And when I had another one of these bars, it suddenly made me sick. People think that if something is in a package, it can't possibly have been tampered with. That's not true. People can use syringes or poke tiny little holes in the packaging, especially if it's like plastic like this or tinfoil. So the biscuits that did not make me sick the first 3 days that I was eating them suddenly made me sick this morning. The bread that did not make me sick the first few days that I had most of what was in that bag suddenly made me sick this afternoon when I had it for a snack at work. And these granola bars, every single one that I've had since the first one, has made me sick. Last night, all of these items were in a bag all the way over by that door. And as I keep saying, the same person who stole my wallet out of here a year ago with my passport, my IDs, some checks and cash, my birth certificates, my social security card in it, knew exactly where I was keeping that wallet. The same person who stole a pair of earphones out of the bottom of a sealed pouch that was in a plastic a few weeks ago knew exactly where I was keeping those headphones. Whoever somehow managed to contaminate these items last night when I left this unit for a few minutes knew exactly which bag these items were kept in. And because I kept them in a bag that was just by the door, it's not difficult for whoever seems to be using surveillance devices in this unit and knows everything that I do and everything that I have in here to know that I had these items in a bag by the door and to do whatever they did to it that suddenly made me really, really sick this afternoon. I was at work. I started having some of this bread, instant cramping, instant stabbing pains. I was like, what the hell is wrong with that bread? It was fine yesterday. It was fine the day before yesterday. It was fine when my friend gave it to me. Why is it suddenly making me sick now? The bread was the only thing I ate this afternoon. In the evening, I had a few of these cookies. That's this evening. They suddenly made me sick again with the same exact symptoms that the bread induced a few hours before. The symptoms stopped maybe an hour after I stopped having the bread. Then I had one of these granola bars at around 6 p.m. this evening. Same thing. I suddenly got really, really sick and just stabbing pains, sudden cramping, stabbing pains under the rib cage, some really bad, like twisting sensations in my stomach. And that went on for about an hour, just like it did with the bread. And then after about an hour, it stopped. So I know that these items have been tampered with within the last 24 hours. And it happened sometime last night when I was in and out of this unit with the, opening and closing the door, going down the hall for a minute or two. Whoever keeps getting in this unit and vandalizing my food and has been doing this for years and years now. I started reporting it 2017 when multiple cups of coffee that I would, just have brewed and left on the counter, maybe had a few sips, started making me sick after I left the unit for a minute or two and did not lock the door, but closed the door. Starting in 2017, the same person who started vandalizing my coffee and my water bottles back in 2017 is doing the same thing to my food and to the coffee now. That's why I have to buy sealed Dunkin' Donuts single serve bottles of coffee and I cannot use those big jars of like instant coffee anymore because those would get immediately tampered with within like a few days of me purchasing them. This psychopath, Jasmine Irizarry, the same psychopath that the Greenville group keeps bragging is such a talented surveillance expert and cyber criminal who can, quote, get into anything. She's the one who keeps getting in here because, as the Greenville group says, she's their surveillance expert. And the cops have said a few things about her to me over the last 6 years, since 2017, about how she compulsively like harms people, is a psychopath, is a registered sex offender, has done some very bad things, is, quote, not a nice person. And then Sergeant Middleton told me when I called the station and said, listen, this psychotic hawker, she's a stalker and a hacker. She literally would disable my phone whenever I would call 911 to report that she had vandalized my food. This isn't like 2019. And Sergeant Milton said, don't talk about her over the phone. She will hear you. If you need to say anything, come into the station and talk to me. That was in 2019. So you do the math. Did somebody just tamper with these items? That did not make me sick last night when I purchased them, or 2 days ago when my friend gave these to me, or 3 days ago my friend gave these to me. But suddenly, as soon as I leave my unit for a few minutes last night, come back and start eating these items, they suddenly start making me sick. You tell me. Apparently she knows exactly what she's doing when it comes to poisoning people's food. She probably uses little syringes or little injection devices to poke holes in this plastic wrap, or just open the bag for the bread. All of these items were in a bag right by my door, so she did not have to go far to vandalize my food, and it's been making me sick ever since I had the first of these bars last night at around 10:30. I only had half of it. I was like, oh, that's weird. It was fine when the first one was fine when I ate it when I left the store. Why is that second one suddenly making me sick? Well, duh, because I left my door unlocked and went down the hall for 2 minutes, and the psychopath / surveillance expert who knows everything that I have in here knew exactly what to grab and vandalize when I was down the hall. She goes for the coffee, she goes for the treats, and then she goes for the healthy stuff. And she's been doing this for at least 6 years.